In Louisiana, speaking with both Republican Senator Cassidy and Democratic Governor Edwards. Yasmin, let's turn to you right now. In the Northeast, it has been a tough 48 hours or so for Manville. I've been watching you reporting all day long. Each time you're in a new location, shining a light on just another tough, tragic story. They've been dealing with historic flooding, also several building explosions. I mean, what's the situation there like right now? How are people coping with everything that happened?
Yeah, so we're trying to kind of get a lay of the land here in Manville because there's a lot of different areas that were affected by the flooding here over the last 48 hours or so. And one of the reasons is because this town is actually surrounded on three sides by two rivers and a stream. So every time they have a lot of rain and a lot of storm, those areas of water, those bodies of water, they overflow. And then, of course, you had that pounding rain for 2 hours straight. From Ida, and that's what caused such massive flooding. I mean, a lot of the folks here have actually seen some significant flooding in their homes. Vinny, who I'm about to talk to and introduce everybody to, his home is flooded, I think, 4 separate times, but he's never seen anything as bad as this. Vinny, walk with me inside, because I just kind of want to show folks your home. And we've been doing this all day, right? Showing people the inside of homes of people that have been just totally ruined, totally demolished because of this flooding. And I think it's important for folks to see. You got it, Tim? I'm going to give Tim a little bit of a help up the steps because it's a big one. It's important for folks to see kind of the destruction that is left by these high flood waters. And one of the reasons why is because the water just got so incredibly high so quickly. And Vinny was recounting to me, and Vinny, come over here because I want you to kind of tell them yourself. You knew Ida was headed this way. Right? But why didn't you evacuate?
Well, in the past, we were given notice ahead of time, days notice that there's a storm coming. This one came so fast. The only warnings we received were like to shelter in place, watch out for flash floods, which, you know, we all know flash flooding is streets and bridges, things like that. But it just came super fast. The worst I've ever seen it.
And how did you guys get out?
By kayak. I borrowed a kayak from one of my friends, and when it got up to my knees, we knew it was time to go.
And you got your girls and your wife out?
Yeah, all three of my girls, two daughters, and my wife.
And when were you able to come back to the house?
This morning.
Wow. And what was your reaction when you saw what happened?
Devastating. You lose everything. Every flood, you lose all your belongings, all your photos. You can't really have any valuables because they just go.
So let me ask you, what now? Are you going to stay in the house? Are you going to try and recover it and rebuild, or what?
I'm not sure at this time. I'm hoping that this time again and take the homes and buy them out.
Condemn the house.
Condemn the houses and knock them down and make it a park. Plant some trees and call it a day, because I don't know how much more structural with the pressure that these walls can take without it imploding. Like my neighbor's house, his foundation imploded, so he can't live in his house ever again.
But that's astounding to me, Joe, that Vinny just said he wants his house condemned, a home that he's lived in for how many years?
20 years.
For 20 years with his family, because it's just unlivable. They've flooded so many times, and this has been the worst of the worst. And then what would you do once the house is condemned? You're not getting any money out of that. No,
but at least they would pay off my mortgage and I can move on.
Has FEMA been helpful in the past for you, or were you able
absolutely.
to recover the money fairly quickly?
Yeah, they provide you with, I mean, you have to out of pocket first for like hotel accommodations, food, and things like that, clothing. But then you hand in your receipts and you recoup what you lost, as well as your insurance company.
I'm so sorry, Vinny, but thank you for letting us in your house.
Oh, no problem.
We're just going to swing around here if we can, guys, and I'm sorry, I'm making it a little bit more complicated than Tim, my shooter, would like, but let's just step out onto this balcony for 1 second, and then I'm going to toss it back to you, Joe. I'm not going to step down, but I just want to show you. So they walked out of here. Just imagine this. They walked out of here, and the water was all the way up to their knees, right, guys?
Yeah, here it was
up to their knees in there.
There it was up to my chin.
And here it was up to their chin. And then at that point, they had to get on a kayak to evacuate. And he said, you see this Jaguar sitting right here? They had to ride that kayak all the way over the Jaguar. You didn't even know, you wouldn't have even known that a car was sitting there. And obviously, once the water receded, you saw this. So, you know, I think much of what I've been seeing is twofold, right? The bigger conversation of infrastructure, right? Why does this continue to happen? Something needs to be done to change, to make sure communities like this aren't experiencing this massive amount of flooding. And then what do folks like this family, this nice family, do next? Where do they go? How do they recoup what they've lost. Thank God they have their lives and their loved ones, and they survived that. But of course, their belongings just basically ruined. And I think one other thing, Joe, I want to say is just listening to Morgan down in Louisiana. This storm has been so expansive, right? Unlike anything we've ever seen before. Sometimes we see Harvey hit Texas, right? You saw Maria hit Puerto Rico. You saw Sandy hit the Northeast. This thing hit and kept hitting all the way up. And it's been incredible to see kind of the damage it's caused across the country, Joe.
Yeah, it's amazing. We started the week talking about Ida in Louisiana and Mississippi, and we then midway through the week we're talking about it in the Northeast, just causing incredible damage in all of those places in so many different ways. Yasmin, thank you for your reporting, and thank you to Vinny and his family for letting you in so we can see the impact of this. Gary, I want